Greetings, everyone. Well, continuing our in-depth look at the remnants of my Laserdisc collection. Well, let's not waste any more time. We started last time talking a little bit about TV shows on Laserdisc, so I thought we would continue the theme and look at a few more TV shows I got on Laserdisc today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Well, I don't think I will be contradicted in any way, shape, or form if I say that Steven Spielberg was one of the undisputed kings of entertainment in 80s cinema. So, needless to say, a lot of us Spielberg fanatics who grew up enjoying his many films, and still enjoy them today, were overjoyed to hear that he was going to be returning to the world that he got his start from, namely the world of television, the little show called Amazing Stories. And man, knowing how awesome his movies were, I was really excited to see what he was going to do in the world of television. So, was Amazing Stories amazing? Yeah, it was okay. It was kind of like Twilight Zone light. It was very Twilight Zone, as it was an anthology series, and had a lot of notable stars in it from the time, and it was fun. I mean, it had some pretty good stories and some kind of so-so ones. There was a DVD set put out a few years back of the first season. I can't recall offhand how many seasons it actually ran. It wasn't very many. It was like 2 or 3. Anyway, they only released the first season on DVD, and the remainder of it has been left in limbo, so who knows what's ever going to happen with that. But long before the days of DVD, we had the Laserdisc collection. Yes, they actually released 5 volumes of Amazing Stories on Laserdisc called books. So they did them like books. So this is book 2. The only one I'm missing is book 1, actually. So I'm going to set this one aside for a moment for a very special reason, which I'll tell you in a moment. So I got book 2 and then book 3. I should tell you what episodes are on here. Book 2 has Go to the Head of the Class and Family Dog. Go to the Head of the Class stars Christopher Lloyd, Scott Coffey, and Mary Stuart Masterson. And Family Dog stars the voices of Stan Freberg, Annie Potts, and Mercedes McCambridge, with character designs by Tim Burton. It's actually an animated episode. And it's very funny, and we'll talk a bit more about that in a bit. Book 3 has Life on Death Row, starring Patrick Swayze, The Amazing Falsworth, starring Gregory Hines, and No Day at the Beach, starring Charlie Sheen. And this is not long after Charlie Sheen got a lot of notice as the star of Platoon. So he's in kind of another little war story in this one. So that's pretty cool. And then we have Book 4, in which we have Mirror Mirror, directed by Martin Scorsese, no less, and starring Sam Waterston, Helen Shaver, and Dick Cavett. Blue Man Down, starring Max Gale and Kate McNeil, and Mr. Magic, starring Sid Caesar. Sorry, getting a little tongue-tied because it's late, and I don't think I showed you the back of this one, so there you go. All right. And then finally we have Book 5, which has 3 more episodes on it. Now, some of these episodes are double length. You may be wondering why some volumes only have 2 episodes. Well, generally they would have about 73 minutes or so of content on here, so they generally have 2 episodes on one side and then 1 on the other side, or 1 double-length episode on one side and then a single episode on the other side. So here we have The Pumpkin Competition, starring Polly Holliday and June Lockhart, Without Diana, starring Billy Green Bush, Diane Hull, and Jenny James, and Fine Tuning, starring Mr. Television himself, Milton Berle. And there you go. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, and these were also all released on VHS. You may notice, watching the Laserdiscs, there's a bit of an awkward break at the end of side 1, and then side 2 just kind of picks up right where it left off. Yeah, it's a little bit rough. They didn't quite have the precision that we have now with digital editing and whatnot, but whatever. It was still pretty cool. Now, let's go back to book 2 here. I wanted to talk a little bit about Family Dog. Now, I first saw Family Dog at a friend's place, just randomly. We were flipping channels one day, and Amazing Stories came on, so we thought, oh, hey, let's see what's on Amazing Stories today. So we checked it out, and it was the episode Family Dog. And we just killed ourselves laughing through the whole thing. I thought it was hilarious. So fast forward a few years, I read in TV Guide that Family Dog was being developed as a TV series. Once again, with character designs by Tim Burton. But as far as I was aware, none of the voice cast was returning. But I was just excited to hear that Family Dog, this obscure episode from Amazing Stories that I felt like only my friend and I had ever heard of, was getting its own TV series. So first off, I was absolutely thrilled to see that that episode that my friend and I only ever saw once and loved was included on the Amazing Stories video releases. So that was very cool. And then I saw the show when it came on. And honestly, the show had its moments, but it wasn't as gut-bustingly funny as the original pilot, as I like to call it, from Amazing Stories. But it was still pretty good. Then, a few years later, they took all 10 episodes of the show and released them on Laserdisc. Now this is notable because it's yet another MCA Universal cartoon that has not been released on DVD. I don't know what the deal is with Universal and why they're so adverse to releasing their animated shows on DVD. I mean, they had an animation division for quite a good long time, and so I don't know what's going on there. So anyway, this is basically just a nice simple box set. And then inside, you've got 3 discs in the nice big paper sleeves. And it's actually quite nice how they did this. And they've even got a big sheet of foam to help pad the discs in there as well, to help protect them. So this is a great collection. When this originally came out, I remember I saw it in the stores, and it was about $75 to get the set. I think I got this for $10, brand new, factory sealed on eBay. Many moons ago. Yeah, I've always had a soft spot for Family Dog, and it's one of those obscure cartoons that nobody had really heard of. Now, this came out, when did the show originally come out? Yeah, the show originally came out in 1992. It's basically the story of a dysfunctional family as seen through the eyes of the family dog. So that's pretty much the concept in a nutshell, and hilarity ensues. So there's a lot of slapsticky humor in there, but there's also a lot of sort of dysfunctional family type gags and whatnot. They got like a bratty little boy, and they got like the little girl who's, I don't know, like 3 or 4, and she's cute but dumb as a post. And they got the mother who's trying to be the good homemaker, and the dad who's basically having a midlife crisis, and the family dog who just loves them all to death and wants to be happy and wonderful. Yeah, so it's not bad. It's a lot of fun and does have some good moments in it, but there always just seemed to be something a little bit off about it. I can never really put my finger on it. Anyway, the series originally came out in 1992, and the original pilot was 1987. So yeah, so this is like 5 years after the original pilot. So there is some slight differences in the character design. The character designs were softened a little bit for the TV series version. You'll notice a slight difference in the look, but they are quite similar. So the voice actors in the animated series, we have Martin Mull as the dad, who's always good. He's a great comedic actor. Molly Cheek, Danny Mann, Cassie Cole, and Zach Huxtable Epstein. So this has all 10 episodes on it in their original air date order. There's not really much of a continuity to it. I think there's a little bit of continuity. There's a couple episodes that refer back to events from previous ones, but for the most part, it's pretty much standalone. So anyway, I was really happy that not only did they have the pilot on Laserdisc, but they also had the entire series, because I was trying to get them all recorded when they were originally airing. But I remember when Family Dog aired, it was like they couldn't air all the episodes and yank it off the air fast enough. It's like it just didn't get a chance. Now, originally it was slated to air at a certain point in the year, but then it got delayed because they were doing some tweaking to it. And then it finally premiered with like very little fanfare, and they showed like 1 episode a week for a few weeks. And then the last few weeks it was on, they showed 2 a week just to sort of quickly get through all the episodes that were done, and then it was gone, never to be repeated or shown ever again. So I hung on to those tapes for a while, and then finally lucked out and managed to get the Laserdisc set for a song and a dance, which was great. So it was interesting. I mean, there was a lot of so-called primetime cartoons coming out at the time. The Simpsons was really starting to take off at this point in time. I mean, they were just in their third season, just to give you some idea of how long ago this was. Basically, all the major networks were trying to get in on the act and get an animated show on the air in prime time to compete with The Simpsons. Now, there were a few success stories in there. You know, Duckman did pretty good. It lasted 4 seasons, and you know, of course, later we had stuff like King of the Hill, and of course now Family Guy. But there was a lot of shows that just came and went so fast, it's a miracle if you'd even heard of them. There was stuff like Capitol Critters, which had the voice of Neil Patrick Harris as a mouse living on Capitol Hill. Also had Bobcat Goldthwait as like his crazy cousin. That was a really good show, actually. I thought it was really well done. But sadly, nobody watched it, I guess. Then there was Fish Police, which was loosely based on a comic book of the same name, although the characters in the cartoon were completely redesigned. Like, if you see the comic and compare it to the show, I mean, they look completely different. Fish Police had some interesting characters in it. It was, the main character was an inspector by the name of Gil. He was voiced by the late, great John Ritter. Yeah. There was a lot of other notable actors doing voices in that, too, but yeah, I think Fish Police didn't even last as long as Capitol Critters. I think Capitol Critters lasted like 7 or 8 episodes, and Fish Police was pulled after 2 or 3. You know, I mean, these shows just did not get very good runs at all. And Family Dog at least got 10, an even 10 episodes. They at least made it up to double digits, but then it's like the network couldn't pull it off the air fast enough. They just blew through the episodes so fast that it was like it came and went and was gone. So anyway, at least we have the Laserdiscs, so Family Dog need never be forgotten. I actually really hope that some of those other obscure, long-forgotten attempts at primetime cartoon domination that failed dismally get DVD releases of some kind, because, you know, they weren't complete write-offs. A lot of them had some good moments, some good acting, some funny stuff, you know. They just weren't particularly successful. Anyway, that's it from me to you for now. So, the saga of Family Dog, and a bunch of amazing stories. I think there's actually some amazing stories episodes here on the Laserdiscs that were not released on DVD as of yet. So that's pretty cool to have at least a handful that aren't available in any other form. Alrighty, that's it from me to you for now. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara.